What happened that night, my nephew came over early, uh, and we got into it, and I told him to leave my property. I pushed him down. He was kind of drunk at the time, so I pushed him down. So he got into his vehicle, and he left. And I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of it. So then 2 hours later, he shows back up in my yard, and then we get into it again.
I think he went back and forth a few times, going onto Dee's porch and then back to the vehicle. And then it wasn't until I think Dee came outside and talked to him, and I realized that he wasn't going to leave, that I called 911 and reported a domestic disturbance.
There's a disturbance in my neighborhood. I live at and someone just drove up in the middle of my next door neighbor's yard, and he's honking the horn and yelling.
Does it look like he has any weapons?
No. No, I don't think he's violent. He's just...
I'm sorry?
He's just being verbally violent.
Okay. We've got a call in.
Got on my phone, called 911, said, my nephew's in my yard. He's drunk. He's acting crazy. Could you please send a unit? Please don't hurt him.
911 emergency.
Yes, sir. I got a person in my yard. He's drunk, and he's my nephew, and I'm trying to tell him to leave my house.
What address?
My address is... Yes. Yes, sir. Now, don't hurt him. I just want him out of my yard and away from my house.
So I came down the stairs, and I'm sitting in the yard. So he said, put your hands on me again. So I took him, laid him on the ground over there, hold him down. I said, Roy, I said, man, when I let you up, I want you to go home.
I looked up, and over here on the corner, which is Commerce and 8th, there was a cop parked on Commerce right before you get to 8th. There was a cop car parked there. And then I saw 2 cops walking from that area. They didn't have any lights on, no emergency lights, no headlights, nothing. And at that point, I looked over at them and I told them, the cops are here, please stop.
So I'm sitting there holding. My neighbor, Michael, next door said, D, the police is here. I said, okay. So as I turned to walk back towards my step, I seen him pull out the butt of the gun. Later we found out it's a BB gun. But he pulled it out. I turned to him, I said, what you gonna do with that besides make me mad? And I walked to my step, walked across my porch, opened my door, went inside, locked my door, went towards the back room, said, yo, KJ, wake up. Roy's out here acting crazy. Time KJ came out of his room, was in the hallway, faced me. That's when we heard the shot ring out. Where I was at, when Roy got shot, I was in the house.
And then I saw Roy with the BB gun. I didn't hear them say anything at all at that point. When I saw him with the BB gun is when I went inside. Once I was inside, I didn't hear any yelling or anything. The next thing I heard were shots.
I don't want anything to happen to him. He's a nice guy. He's been living there for a long time, very quiet. This is the first time we've ever seen anything like this.
What am I hearing? Are they shooting?
I told you, Charlie, goddammit!
Shots fired on that.
Oh, God.
The police said they showed up on the scene at between 12:36 and 12:37. If they showed up on the scene between 12:36 and 12:37, they had ample time enough to stop Roy from grabbing anything or running to do anything.
From when they pulled up right there at Commerce and 8th, when Dee and Roy were fighting, when I saw them, I didn't hear them say anything at that point. I don't think the police announced themselves very well. I think the police could have yelled something from over there when they were fighting. I think that once the police got closer, the 2 police officers, they could have said something while they were still fighting. I think that it could have been avoided if they would have announced themselves.
Where I was at, when Roy got shot, I was in the house. My roommate, he came out first, and I was still in the house. And I could hear the police told him to put his hand up. So when I came out, the police said nothing to me.
I went back out my front door and I looked out in the front porch and I saw there was one cop that was holding that looked like an assault rifle, and he was pointing it at the door, which was shut, and they were yelling at them to come outside. At that time I also saw Roy lying right there where the flowers are, and he had blood all down the left side of his face, and his body was still. He wasn't moving or anything.
Johnny,
The
what
damn
again?
cop killed Marcus because he wanted to. Because he had it on his mind because he wanted to. It wasn't because it was a law.
But the point was, he was already in the house when the man fired his gun.
I heard the police said nothing. I didn't hear the police say anything.
He didn't even know, man. He didn't even know the cops
Yeah.
was here. That's why.
Yeah.
I
didn't even know the cops were here.
Their first mistake was parking down there.
Yeah.
That's some shit the gang members do. Park around the corners, run up and shoot people. That's the shit they do. What they the police or they the gang? Which one is it? If you want to be a cop or you want to be a killer, which one do you want to be? Cop did. He could have gave him a chance to put the BB gun down. I don't think he gave him a chance enough to put the gun down.
He was black. That's the only reason he did it. If it's a white guy, he would have tried to work something out before he actually just pulled that trigger. You know, I know that. Everybody in the world probably know that. You know, I just think he should be prosecuted to the fullest.